What's going down, man? It's Donnie Houston of Donnie Houston Podcast, H-Town representative. Hey, man, I'm really excited about this new collaboration between the Houston Texans and DJ Screw, man. This is big. This is big for the city, big for the state, big for the NFL, man. This is two giants, DJ Screw, Robert Earl Davis, and the Houston Texans coming together for the first time ever to bring a brand new exclusive piece of merch, man. You gotta have it. This is super dope. This is so important, man, because when we talk about DJ Screw, when we talk about Robert Earl Davis Jr., we're talking about one of the greatest DJs, not just in Houston, Texas, or the country, in the world. One of the greatest DJs of all times, man. He was born in Smithville, which is right outside of Austin, Texas. He moved to Houston in the early 90s, and he was a DJ already, but he started creating his new style, which was a slowed down thing that we know as a screw sound. It's a slowed up sound. Screwed and chopped is what it's now known as. And this started out as a thing of him just being a DJ at his house, inviting his friends over, and they enjoyed watching him do his thing. And after a while, his friends started asking for personal mixtapes. For y'all who may be too young, a mixtape is a cassette tape. You get about, you can get a 60-minute tape, you can get a 90-minute tape, or what a lot of DJ Screw would use because it had the most time was a 100-minute tape. So these gray Maxell tapes, the gray tape as they're known as, his friends would come over with a list of songs, and whatever their songs were, they would leave the list with DJ Screw. Sometimes they would stay with him, but they would have this list of songs, and at the end of the list, you had the option to do a freestyle. Around 91, 92, these screw tapes and these freestyles started infiltrating the streets of Houston on the south side. And you had guys like the Botany Boys, which is C-Note, Willeen, Dirty Red, Big Dez, Head. You know, you had people like Stick One, who was just a known guy in the neighborhood, who eventually was the guy who was responsible for a lot of Lil Kiki's success within the Screwed Up movement. These screw tapes would come out and he would release them every week, and people would line up at his house in cars all down the street for blocks. And it was so bad to where at one point, you know, his neighbors thought he was doing something illegal, like he may be, you know, selling drugs or some other illegal activity, and they called the police. And the police actually came and kicked his door in, expecting to find whatever they were looking for, guns, drugs, all kind of illegal activity, and the only thing they found were these gray tapes with these slowed down songs and these freestyles. So now we fast forward to June 27th. It's the year 1996. And there's a guy named Demo Sherman, who was a good friend of DJ Screw. He had done some music as well. He had recorded rap songs, but he was really a friend of his. Prior to June 27th, he called some of his friends over to make a screw tape. These gray tapes I'm talking about. It became a popular thing, like special occasions, you know, people's birthdays, you know, people graduating high school, different things would prompt people to want to make a screw tape. And sometimes people would just want to go hang out with DJ Screw and just make screw tapes to ride around for their own personal pleasure and leisure. Well, Demo wanted to make a tape called Dancing Candy. This is in 1996. This is before June 27th. And he calls Big Mo. He calls Big Pokey, he calls Kesey, he calls, you know, a few guys who were his friends at the time. And this was supposed to be a big tape for Demo. Everybody had their own personal screw tapes. This was gonna be his big tape. He's doing Dancing Candy. The thing with screw tapes is that it was an event. So if you go to make a screw tape, you're going to DJ Screw's house, but you're also going to party, if you will. So, you know, while everybody's preparing themselves and, you know, getting their vibes right and everything like that, they have these little pre-parties before DJ Screw starts the mixtape. Well, unfortunately, Demo partied a little bit too hard. And when it was time for the freestyle on the Dancing Candy, which was his personal tape, by the way, he was sleeping. So this freestyle happens and it's his tape, it's his freestyle, but he fell asleep through his own freestyle. So he says, man, Screw, you know, I really wanted to freestyle, man. And Screw says, well, man, you know, we can always come back and do this again. And he says, well, man, you know, my birthday is coming up in a couple of weeks on June 27th. Can we do it then? Sure. Demo calls the same cast. Calls Big Mo, calls Big Pokey, He calls Kesey. There's a guy named Bird who's a part of the Screwed Up Clique and a frequent collaborator with DJ Screw. He comes. A bunch of guys from the south side of Houston and this kid named Youngster, who was just a young guy who hung with Demo and would ask him to go to DJ Screw's house to record these tapes. So he brings all the guys from Dancing Candy and he brings this young kid, Youngster, who was about 15 or 16 years old at the time. Everybody else is in their 20s. They're pretty, adult age. They make this Screw tape. Same thing. They do the pre-party. Everybody has this. Demo makes sure that he doesn't overdo it. So now it's time for the freestyle. And they're like, well, man, what is the beat gonna be? And they picked a beat called The Streets Ain't Right. It's actually by Criss Cross. It's a lesser known song that they put out, actually. It was like a B-side, just a random song that was on the flip side of another vinyl. And when DJ Screw pulled the beat, everybody said, okay, that's it. We're ready. Record the freestyle. They record this freestyle, which is over 20 minutes long. And it has Big Mo continuously coming in, kind of doing like a chorus type of thing while the guys trade freestyles. It starts with Bird, and then it goes to Demo and goes to Youngster and Big Pokey and Big Mo's brother K-Love. And I mean, it just goes on and on and on and on. And they released this Screw tape. And I can vividly remember in the summer of 1996 when this came out, because it was like, you could have sworn this was like a major release, because as soon as it came out, everybody wanted it. This is what everybody was listening to. This is what everybody was talking about. This is all everybody wanted to hear. It was June 27th. This is in 1996. DJ Screw passes in 2000, November 16th, 2000. And that was the first time that the radio played June 27th. And this was a big deal because we didn't really get too many Screw songs, and you never got real Screw freestyles that were actually on Screw tapes on the radio. So now this moves June 27th to the next level. Now it's on the radio. And when you look back now, since that time, since 1996, the kid Youngster, the 16-year-old kid who I was talking about, this was like his breakout party. So he ends up doing a freestyle that stands out so much to where he begins a professional rap career. And his first single, Knocking Pictures Off the Wall, actually samples the beat that was used for June 27. It samples a Criss Cross song. Youngster also is on Wanna Be a Baller, one of the biggest songs to ever come out of Houston, known around the world. And all of this happened from that one particular day of being at DJ Screw's house. We go from 1996, June 27th, with DJ Screw, which turns into Youngster's first single in 1998, Knocking Pictures Off the Wall, which 10 years later, in 2009, becomes a track on Drake's standout mixtape, So Far Gone, that he calls November 18th. Now, Drake is a kid from Canada. What does he know about June 27th? Well, he's connected with Jazz, son of Jay Prince, at Rap-A-Lot, and he tells them, hey man, I think you should use this beat. And that one suggestion turned into another radio single off of his mixtape. It turned into one of the hottest records in the club for Drake. It turned into a brand new introduction of this beat and this song and this sound that us Houstonians had already been in love with for, almost 15 years at that point. It breathed life into a whole new generation. And then you have Mona Leo, who's a newer Houston artist, and she comes out with Beating Down Your Block, which is off the same tree, off the Youngster, Knocking Pictures Off the Wall, off the June 27th, the November 18th. This is all intertwined, and it all comes from meeting up at DJ Screw's house for the greatest birthday party of all time. When we talk about DJ Screw's process, everybody thinks that the music just came out like super slow and everybody was rapping like this. And this was just a technique. So he would DJ almost at regular speed and record that whole process. And then he would take a Tascam recorder similar to this one. And there's a pitch control button here. And if you move the pitch, depending on the direction, it can either go faster or slower. So if you slow it down to the minus, that takes the whole mix down. So that takes the music down, that takes the voices down, And that's how you got the final product of a screw tape. So, you know, there are a lot of misconceptions about June 27th. You know, a lot of people think that, for one, the track, the beat, the music, for the longest, a lot of us thought that it was something that DJ Screw made. We thought DJ Screw made the beat for June 27 because we had never heard anything like that at the time. And the Crisscross song was so rare that it was very possible that DJ Screw could have produced that track. But, you know, a lot of people thought that June 27th was DJ Screw's birthday. And his birthday is actually July 20th. Well, he says D-Mo, but a lot of people thought he was saying Big Mo in the freestyles. So a lot of people thought, well, if it ain't DJ Screw's birthday, maybe it's Big Mo's birthday. And it's not Big Mo's birthday either. It's actually D-Mo's birthday. D-Mo Sherman, who's a guy from Long Drive. And like I said, he's the reason for the tape in the first place. It was his birthday party. It was his day. And it just became a holiday in Houston and just a legendary moment that we'll be celebrating to the end of time. That brings us to 2025 and this brand new collaboration between the DJ Screw Estate and the Houston Texans, man. We're so excited about this. This is the first time that the Texans and DJ Screw have officially collaborated. This is huge. This means everything to the city of Houston because just as much as we love Robert Earl Davis Jr., AKA DJ Screw, is just as much as we love the Houston Texans and definitely as much as we love June 27th. DJ Screw and the Houston Texans, man, if only he were here to see what his legacy has amounted to, and to do something of this magnitude is just, it's amazing. So this is for the city. This is for the Screw culture. This is for the Houston culture. This is for the Texans. It's for the NFL, man. It's for everybody, man.